The Legend of Nymar and the Golden Stag. On cool spring mornings, when the mist still curled around the well in the village square, the children of Nymar's Rest often gathered around old Rold, the blacksmith. His forge crackled, his hammer rang, and the whole square smelled faintly of iron and pine sap. One such morning, Rold set down his tools with a sigh, wiped his brow, and called out, "Come here, you little rascals. I've a story for you." The children rushed over, tumbling onto the grass and stone, cheeks pink from play. Rold pulled up his worn wooden stool and settled in, the spring breeze tugging gently at his beard. "Now listen closely," he said, leaning forward. "This is the tale of Nymar, the great hunter, the very reason our village stands where it does." Some children murmured that they'd heard the name, but none knew the full tale. So Rold began. Long ago, Nymar lived in a seaside village far to the north. He was the finest hunter anyone had ever known, swift of foot, sharp of eye, and brave enough to track beasts twice his size. The gods themselves, so the old stories say, favored him for his curiosity and courage. Villagers admired him. Young hunters tried to copy him. The village girls smiled at him. But Nymar loved only one thing more than anything else: the thrill of the hunt. He spent days, sometimes weeks, in the forests or mountains, always returning with furs, meat, and tales that made even the oldest men shake their heads in wonder. One day, Nymar found strange hoofprints the size of his hand. Trees were scraped high as a man's shoulders. The air shimmered faintly, like sunlight on water. "It can't be," he whispered, for these were signs of the golden stag, a creature said to be older than any kingdom, wiser than any scholar, and faster than any arrow. Some believed it to be a gift from the gods. Others believed it was a god. Nymar's heart raced. He packed his bow, filled his quiver, and set off into the southern mountains. Days turned into weeks, but he never gave up. Right where the village now stands, Nymar built a small hut beside a clear spring. He hunted from there, returning each night to rest and plan anew. Whenever he glimpsed the stag, it shone like dawn on snow, always just out of reach. Then one morning, as the mist rolled low through the pines, Nymar saw it clearly at last. The golden stag grazing beside a ridge. Silent as a shadow, he drew his bow. A breath held, an arrow loose. It struck the stag's shoulder. The air thrummed like a plucked string. The stag lifted its head and let out a cry that echoed through the mountains. Then it charged. The hunter and the stag vanished into the mist, their clash rumbling like thunder. And when the mountains grew quiet again, both were gone. Back in Nymar's home village, people waited for him. Days passed, then weeks, but Nymar did not return. Worried, his kin journeyed into the mountains to find him. What they found instead was a sturdy little hut, fresh game in every direction, clean spring water, rich iron ore in the cliffs, and land safe from storms. It was as if the mountains were inviting them to stay. They searched high and low for Nymar and the great stag, but found neither hide nor hoofprint. And so, believing the gods had guided them, they built their homes around the hut. This is how Nymar's rest was born. Rold always paused at this part, letting the children lean in. Now then, he'd say with a twinkle in his eye, "What happened to Nymar, you ask?" He would lift a finger. Well, it depends on who you ask. Some say the golden stag was Auren in disguise, testing Nymar's courage. When Nymar proved himself worthy, they vanished together into the heavens. Some say Nymar defeated the stag and still roams these mountains, hunting creatures we've never even seen. And some whisper that the stag bested him, and Nymar's spirit joined the wind in the pines. But everyone in Nymar's rest agrees on one thing. On cold spring nights, far up the mountain pass, sometimes you can see a pale figure running along the ridges, always chasing a glimmer of gold.